Now, on another matter, almost 2 years ago, the United States took an important step toward deeper cooperation with two of our closest friends, Australia and the United Kingdom. AUKUS agreement promises to equip our Australian allies with cutting-edge U.S. attack submarines to help deter in the Indo-Pacific and clear the way for closer collaboration between all three nations on advanced defense technologies. Like Ranking Member Wicker, Vice Chair Collins, and many other colleagues on both sides of the aisle, I've been supportive of this important effort. Outcompeting China is going to take a coalition of committed allies and partners. Some Republicans want AUKUS to be more than just a talking point or a one-time summit deliverable. We want it to be an enduring contribution to our collective security and a major expansion of defense cooperation with our closest allies. But standing in the way of the historic opportunity, AUKUS is the same persistent roadblock holding back our other efforts at military modernization. President Biden's defense budget requests grossly underestimate what's required to meet the challenges his own national defense strategy identifies. If we're serious about deterring conflict in the Indo-Pacific, we must address America's aging attack submarine fleet. Senior military leaders say they need 66 attack submarines to carry out necessary missions. The Navy currently has 49. Right now, our defense industrial base produces 1.2 new submarines a year. But the Department of Defense will need to double production capacity just to avoid further reductions in the fleet. Our allies' significant investments in shipbuilding are welcome steps that will improve our mutual security. But if the United States doesn't increase our own shipbuilding capacity and production rate, we'll both fall behind as China erodes our key advantage in the undersea domain. As Ranking Member Wicker has pointed out, that means funding for more attack submarines and concrete investments in the production lines that will help us meet our goals. If the administration is serious about making AUKUS a success, it should work with Congress this fall to make urgent supplemental investments in meeting military requirements in the Indo-Pacific. Importantly, the administration should also prioritize removing barriers in the technology transfer process that prevent more effective long-term cooperation with our closest allies. The reforms laid out in Pillar 2 of AUKUS are essential, not just for putting more cutting-edge U.S. technology in the Indo-Pacific, but also for tapping into our allies' own technical advances and industrial bases. If we're serious about building secure high-tech supply chains, we should go further to shore up the critical pillar of AUKUS and lower barriers to cooperation with our closest allies. As I've said before, for the purposes of defense technology cooperation, we should treat Australia and the United Kingdom like we treat Canada. So today, I joined Ranking Member Wicker, Vice Chair Collins, and several of our colleagues in making the case to President Biden. I hope and expect that the administration will recognize the need to invest further in our capacity to counter growing threats in the Indo-Pacific. And for our part, I expect the Senate to continue our work to provide for the common defense in earnest.